The Xtrackers USD High Yield Corporate Bond ETF, HYLB, is an exchange-traded fund, ETF, that aims to provide investors with exposure to the high-yield corporate bond market. High-yield corporate bonds, also known as junk bonds, are issued by companies with lower credit ratings and offer higher yields than investment-grade bonds as compensation for the increased risk of default. HYLB tracks the performance of the Solactive USD High Yield Corporate Bond Index, which is a market capitalization-weighted index comprised of high-yield corporate bonds denominated in US dollars. The fund invests in a diverse portfolio of high-yield corporate bonds across a variety of sectors and industries, including energy, telecommunications, and financial services. One of the main benefits of investing in HYLB is the potential for higher returns compared to other fixed-income investments such as investment-grade corporate bonds or government bonds. High-yield corporate bonds tend to offer higher yields as compensation for the increased risk of default. However, it's important to note that the higher yields come with increased credit risk, which means that the risk of default or downgrades is greater for high-yield bonds compared to investment-grade bonds. In addition to credit risk, there are several other risks to consider when investing in HYLB or any other bond fund. Interest rate risk is the risk that the value of the bond fund will decline if interest rates rise. This is because when interest rates rise, the prices of existing bonds tend to fall as investors demand a higher yield to compensate for the increased risk. Inflation risk is the risk that the value of the bond fund will decline due to rising inflation, as bond yields typically rise along with inflation. HYLB has an expense ratio of 0.30%, which is relatively low compared to other bond funds. This is the fee that investors pay to cover the fund's operating expenses, such as management fees, administrative costs, and other expenses. It's important to consider the expense ratio when evaluating a fund, as it can impact the overall returns of the fund. In summary, the Xtrackers USD High Yield Corporate Bond ETF, HYLB, is a bond fund that provides investors with exposure to the high-yield corporate bond market. The fund offers the potential for higher returns compared to other fixed-income investments, but also comes with higher credit and other risks. Investors should carefully consider their investment objectives, risk tolerance, and other factors before deciding whether HYLB is suitable for their portfolio.